Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for always supporting me. Thank you for always coming back and watch. So today I'm honored to have a guest with us, whom with whom we are going to actually discuss this Israeli Palestinian conflict, which has been spanning for now over 70 years, and we both hold different opinions when it comes to this conflict. And I would like him to introduce himself.
Oh, hello viewers. My name is Chris. My name is African Q, and I love Israelis.
Thank you. So, he will be supporting the Israelites, and I'll be supporting the Palestinians. So we know that on 17th, a militant group called Hamas, people have been dubbing it all different of terrible names to it, but I'll just choose to say, call it a militant group launched an attack into Israel's territory, and they were able to kill a lot of innocent people. And I believe that there is a reason why they did that. And my friend over here is going to cover uh, history and why Israelis actually deserve to occupy that land and to cultivate and to occupy as much land as possible, because that's what he thinks. But that is his theory. I'm not going to cover. I will be supporting the claim of the Palestinians, and that's it. So, can you believe? Can you start? I want you to tell us, or to tell the viewers, why you think that the Jews are the ones who have been wronged and their lands are the ones which have been taken, or why do you believe that? Do you believe in the claims of Jews, or why do you think Jews deserve to be there? Can you go ahead?
Yes, as we see, ever since times of Israeli patriarchs like Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Canaan, as was changed into Palestine, was the land promised to Abraham and also Isaac and Jacob to be the land for the Israelis. And they have been occupying that land ever since they came out of Egypt, and they conquered the tribes who were living in Palestine at that time. It was being called Canaan as per the people who were living there. They have been living there even in the time of King Saul, King David, King Solomon, and many other kings who have been who have having dominion on that on other in Canaan have to their when they were devoted.
Okay.
We know that Israel has been the kingdom of Israel has been existing until the northern kingdom were deported to Assyria by a king called Tiglath-Pileser or Bull. And then the rest, the southern kingdom lasted until Nebuchadnezzar destroyed it and took the people to Babylon. And Israelis won that, and they came back and they occupied Canaan or Palestine until they were deported again and again. And now they have returned to a land in 1948. The land of Israel, the state of Israel began up to now, and they have been living with constant hostilities with our neighbors, probably the Arab nations surrounding her. Miraculously, they were fighting, and Israel were defeating them again and again. And now Palestinians have come and they want to occupy that land, and they have been living there when Israelis were deported, and they claim to own that land, and they see Israelis as aliens. Okay. That's why they are fighting.
Okay, let me stop you there. I would like to intervene. So first, as he just said that God promised the Israelites to occupy that land, but the land was not empty. People originally were living there, as he just talked about the Canaanites, and all those people originally stayed there. So to me, it sounds as though this God gave out land which already had people to these other people. So we know that because these writings were written many thousands and thousands of years ago, probably the person who claimed that he or she has been told by God that that land belongs to or should be given to the Jacobs and the descendants of those people there. I think for me, I would say that that God is inconsiderate, or I may put it, because we cannot truly be, I cannot, not all people actually believe necessarily that actually God somehow appeared and told somebody, move, I'll give you this land. I tend to believe that is kind of legend stories, those stories that we tell like fables. They never really occurred, but now because it was chalked down or it was written down, people tend to believe and take it as it's the only truth. And now the story has been passed down over and over and over and over to now the current people whom we are today. Another thing, because now, because based on the story that you are saying, if you are to go by it, we know that Philistines also existed in the stories, as you talked about David and all those. We know the story of Goliath. Goliath was a Philistine. So because they were fighting, the Israelites were fighting with the Philistines, that tells us that Philistines were living near. So probably they were still occupying what today you know it as Israel. It was part of their land. So I believe even with that story, if we go by that story, the Palestinians have claim over that land. And also we all know that even in the past 1,000 years ago, many nations as we know it today did not exist. We have had stories about the Mongol Empire, the Ottoman Empire, the Roman Empire. All these empires, they were ruling very, very large territories, but they don't exist today. And the lands now have been divided into different countries. And you don't hear that some Romans are coming to claim that these lands were here 1,000 ago. So you guys, you should disappear. You should give us our lands. So you don't get to hear such stories. You don't hear the Mongols complaining. So I think the same. These Israelites should think of the same. Their story is based on 1,000 years ago, and that is a very long time ago. And I believe because they came, as you said, 1948 to the land Israel, but according to the recent histories that we have read, all Jews did not disperse into the different regions of the world. Some of them stayed in Palestine and they were living in peace with these Palestinians whom never left Palestine or never left their lands, because we all hear stories that Israelites were chased, they were taken to captivity, they spread out into the world. Then you ask yourself, why didn't the Palestinians as well conquered and made to disperse? Why only specifically the Jews were the ones who were conquered and had to run away into foreign countries? Why not also Palestinians? And I think it is unfair now that the Jews came back in 1948, found land which was already occupied. Instead of now assimilating or staying with these Palestinians in peace, they started now encroaching their land, burning their villages. And we have stories, very bad stories about people. There is actually something called an Napka. People are talking about when the Jews actually were attacking the Palestinian communities and taking their own lands. And actually that is bad, and that is what has led to what we know as the conflict today. Everybody is claiming that our land stretched from here to there, and the claims of maybe my opponent or on the other side, they shouldn't be having certain lands, certain territories, they belong to this other group, and that's why the war is still raging on. So tell me, what are you saying in your defense?
Let me tell you more about history as I know. As you have said something like God is inconsiderate.
Yes.
I must confirm to you that even Islam is one of the Abrahamic religion, as Jews also believe in Judaism. Likewise to Christians as I am. We believe our religion dates back to Abraham. That is why they are called Abrahamic religion. And you have talked about history of Palestinians. As I know, Palestinians or Philistines came from a land called the Great many years ago. And they have been living they came to occupy western part of the kingdom of Israel. And they had 5 city-states, namely Ashdod, Askelon, Gaza, and Hebron. I might have forgotten one, but they were in constant war with Israelis. Sometimes they might, in the times of King Saul, King Saul managed to overpower them. Even King David also killed Goliath, one of Philistine champion. And these people were living in constant hatred amongst themselves. But Israel gained the upper hand. King Nebuchadnezzar also dispersed the Palestinians, and some went to Egypt. I don't know now why these people, I don't know whether the current people who live in Gaza are descendants of the ancient Philistines. But what I know is that as these people from Gaza are at constant conflict with Israel, like their predecessors. But Israel has the mandate to protect our citizens from internal and external aggressors. And I support them to permanently vanquish or finish Hamas so that peace might avail in Israel, because Palestinian or Hamas have the tendency of hiding beneath the masses of Gaza, and they would bomb Israel or attack Israel while using people as shields. So when you see Israel bombing them and you see people dying, even children, it is because Hamas would use people as shields and bomb, and when they have been bombed, they would call the media and tell them, see, Israel are killing innocent people.
No, you should stop there. That is actually, you are not talking the truth. You know, these Israelites, this Israeli, the IDF, it is bombing places anyhowly without considering if the population which was living maybe in a certain building have moved out. They just, I don't know in what manner they're collecting their intelligence. They just, when they get some into that probably there is an Hamas or there is some arson or there is something somewhere, even without actual confirmation, they actually just bomb that place. Whoever is living in that place, as children, mothers or whatever, they just bomb it and kill everybody in hopes that they get to kill these Hamas members, which is actually a very, very stupendous manner of trying to get rid of somebody. And another thing, as you said, that this Israeli government is actually trying, that actually the Hamas are using the civilians as shield. That is actually a narrative that the Israeli is peddling, which has nothing to do with the reality. Hamas actually is not telling people, no, don't leave the building, you just stay, they bomb, and then the Israelis will look bad. No, that is not. You know, when you've lived in a certain building, all your items are in that building. Everything that you know in this life is in that building. Everything that you have worked for sometimes is in your building. So when you are being told that get out of that building, sometimes you tend to hesitate, and you maybe are caught in this bombardment, and you get, the building gets collapsed on you, and this, now you get to lose your life and everything. And these are actually innocent people. It's not like they are necessarily rallying behind Hamas. It's not like Hamas consulted them before they actually launching this attack. They are just people who are actually going on with their life as normal, or planning for the future. I want my daughter to finish school, I want to go abroad, and such kind of dreams. And all of a sudden, bomb was dropped on them, and they're no more. Their dreams have been snuffed, and everything is bad. So I would like to say that now that you have actually, let's say, protected the Israelis with this in this interview, I would like to ask you, what do you think is the solution? Because as per me, I know that the Philistines as well as the Israel somehow belong there. So they have just to find a way of living there together in peace, but in two different states, because they have proved over and over and over again through time that they cannot exist as one state, because one country, one people known as the Israelis always tend to dominate and have backing of Western countries like the United States, which is very inconsiderate. It's not caring that how many civilians are being killed. It just rallies behind Israelis unnecessarily, indefinitely, without actually thinking much of what is the best solution in the long run. They are talking about the two-state solution, but the government of US is not pushing for actually implementation of that. It's just saying for the sake just to look good, and it's actually doing nothing, absolutely nothing. So this war will continue raging on, and instead of the United States actually coming to a round table and agreeing with Arab countries on how to split, is actually telling that the Israelis to continue doing whatever, because they continue waging war because they deserve to defend themselves, which is right to some level. But now, if you're now committing war crimes, that one should be called to an halt. That's what I believe. So what do you believe? Tell me, should the war be halted? Because now I think enough people have died. If you are trying to prove something, you've already proven something, and let us first stop. Because this Hamas spirit will not stop. It will continue in the children of Palestinians. They will still continue being Hamas, if not Hamas's name, but the other groups will come with different names, and they will continue fighting for what I believe is freedom and what they believe is independence. Palestinians have never gotten their independence, unlike most of African countries. They don't have authority over themselves. Everything that they want to do, they have to ask the government of Israel, and that is what is making the Palestinians angry, because they don't have true authority, true control. They are not actually ruling over themselves.
Yeah. Even me, I have a human heart. I have sympathy for the women and innocent children of Gaza. They are being caught in the middle of this war. For me, I would like for Israelis and Palestinians to live together as brothers. They should love one another. If they love one another, this war, this conflict shall not escalate. But if they give on hating one another, they shall not live together, because one side wants to claim all the land, while the other doesn't want to let even an inch to go to the other side. Then war shall continue till the end. And I fear that this war might continue till it might escalate into that world war. And it seems to me that, as I see, according to my view, it seems if this war continues, that world war might start in Middle East. So unless these people would love one another, there is no shortcut.
I agree with you. No, this actually starting to love somebody, it has to begin somewhere, and because hatred has been brewed over a long period of time, it cannot now be snuffed in a single second, and now love is triumphing. I think they should start by actually splitting the country into two. That is my opinion. I don't know. I know most people are not going to agree, but you see, the eastern Jerusalem, the West Bank, was designated for the Palestinians, but now their lands are being encroached by the Israelites. I know we should be concluding, but now you see, even the Israelis, they are being inconsiderate, and they are taking lands of the Palestinians. They actually, what do we call? They are shrinking them. Their territories are becoming more tinier and tinier and tinier and tinier. So they should start there, draw a territory, say these lands belong to these people. No coming there, no encroaching. Unless you want land, you should buy. And because you don't want this thing continue, probably they should just say, start two countries, and maybe after 10 years or 20 years, maybe they can start loving one another, doing business together. And now love will start taking over. That's what I believe. So I know that we have talked much. Do you have the last remark, or you have finished?
You have an opinion that they should split the land.
Yes.
It is upon them. If
It's
they
upon
sit
them.
down, if they embrace diplomacy and say, let us split the land, then it is okay. But according to my view, most of Israeli land is still in Jordan, and they need to annex the land. They would like to annex the land, especially Judea and Samaria. So much of their land is still in Jordan. How?
Judea and Samaria are actually in Israel. You are now stretching this, and actually you are trying to still tell the Israelites to continue annexing more land, which will actually bring the whole region into war. You know, they should first appreciate what they have and try to live with what they have. So no more taking anybody's land. They should live within what they have, because they have proven over and over again that they cannot live together. So everybody should have their land, their territory, and just stay in peace. Just like how solution for countries in Africa was solved, like the Sudan problem. They split the country, do Sudan, South Sudan, now peace, no problem. So that's it, guys. Tell us down in the comment section what you think. Subscribe, and maybe you can tell us what you need us to cover next, and get to share knowledge together. Maybe you can tell us what we are not including and what we are not talking about, so that you can also gain more knowledge. And next time when we cover this kind of story, we'll be having that knowledge and we'll be sharing it in the right manner. Thank you.